Hello and welcome to the big picture. One state which is holding the key to who will form the next government undoubtedly is Uttar Pradesh. It's the battle in this key state which is most interesting and no wonder all eyes are on it. With 47 of the total 80 seats in the state yet to go to polls, the big question which is on everyone's mind is there a pro-Modi or BJP wave in Uttar Pradesh? The other big question is, can a wave override the caste which has always been a huge factor in Uttar Pradesh? These questions are the key to any analysis of what's happening in Uttar Pradesh and in turn, what kind of a government we'll be seeing at the center next month. We will discuss all this today with Vinod Sharma, political editor of the Hindustan Times, Neerja Chowdhury, senior journalist, Sanjay Kumar, co-director Lokniti at the CSDS, Shesh Narain Singh, political editor Deshbandhu, and on the phone line from Lucknow is Atul Chandra, a senior journalist. Welcome to all of you. Sanjay, I would like to come to you first. What is a wave? In the context of Uttar Pradesh, what is it that we should consider as a wave?
No, if one needs to define what is a wave, for a party, if voters tend to vote for a party irrespective of which candidate the party is fielded, I would consider it as a wave for the party. Or for a leader, if people are ready to vote for a party or a candidate of a party only in the name of party's leader, that I would consider as a wave for the leader. So this is the two ways of defining wave for a party or wave for a leader. As for UP is concerned,
yes,
I think couple of months back when the candidates were not announced by most of the political parties and BJP has started its campaign much in advance, and we know that Amit Shah has already started the campaign for the party. It seemed that there is a big wave for BJP, more so about Narendra Modi, because BJP has been not doing well in UP for the last several years,
yes,
and they didn't have strong local leaders. So they needed to depend upon a national leader to create some kind of an euphoria. That seemed to be happening in UP in the month of January, February, up till early March. But as soon as all the parties have come up with their own candidates, I think it has subdued.
Now we will have to. We will come to that. So you have defined wave as something where a candidate doesn't matter, the party matters, or a leader who is being projected as is what matters. Do we have Atul Chandra on the phone line? Atul?
Yeah.
Atul, can you? Do you think that a situation what Sanjay Kumar has just described as, for what should constitute a wave, do you see that kind of a situation where candidates are not mattering for a particular party? It is the name of the leader or the party which is pushing them towards what we could not pushing them towards victory, if in some sense.
Yeah, I quite agree with this line of thought, because the initial euphoria was all about a personality-based election, and it seemed that the wave is, sweeping all over Uttar Pradesh. But gradually, in the state where caste is predominant, things began to change, and not just caste. Communal politics also came into play Uttar Pradesh in a big way.
Right.
So the wave got somehow, it petered out when it entered UP as elections approached.
Okay.
Now,
yes.
Sorry.
Yes, please continue.
And as things stand today, on the eve of the fourth phase of elections here, caste and community are going to be a decisive factor in certain ways.
Okay. Neerja, you've been traveling in UP recently. Do you see in any of the constituencies where you have been traveling or you have been talking to people, do you see some kind of a wave anywhere? Do you see one part? We all of us who have traveled there, everywhere you'll hear the name of Narendra Modi in almost every constituency you travel. But how is that getting converted? One, and how are the caste factors playing?
This is a way. There is certainly an enthusiasm in large sections for Narendra Modi. People make a distinction between BJP and Modi. That is also evident. The road show that Mr. Narendra Modi had on April 24th in Varanasi, where he filed his nomination papers, was reminiscent to me of VP Singh's road shows between 87 and 89.
Right.
There was a certain, as I say, energy, enthusiasm, a hope generated about what this man would do. But this wave is different from the waves in the past, whether it was 1977, 89, in the sense that a huge community is opposed to it. In the past, the waves have everybody going along with it who wanted change. But the Muslims have definitely expressing themselves against Modi. They are fearful and they are going to vote for the candidate strong enough to defeat the local BJP candidate. So that also is a difference that you see this time. As for your question, is the caste factor overriding the wave?
Right.
Now that is what May 16th is going to reveal, because you know the caste factor may also be very, very silent. For instance, the Dalits. I was in Muzaffarnagar and I went to a village where the BJP candidate was coming, and the Harijan Chopal is where the meeting was being held, and there were a lot of drum beating, saffron caps, a lot of enthusiasm, hundreds of people gathered there to receive him. I was called by a woman who was the shopkeeper, and she called me inside the place and she said, you know, we are all very enthusiastic, we'll vote for him. And then as conversation went on, she said, you know, we are under tremendous pressure of the Jats, but let me tell you this very frankly, when we go inside the booth, we will press that button of the Hathi.
Hathi.
So
Yes.
what you see, is this a silent vote where you're not seeing it as visible? I
Okay.
think this is the election. This election is very, very different from the past elections insofar as, you know, the enthusiasm is there and the anti-feeling is also there.
It's also there, but it is not as evident,
vocal or
as
visible.
evident and as loud as the situation. Shesh Narain, if we talk in terms of numbers about what a wave what constitutes a wave, I'm sure Sanjay also will agree with me. 1998, as far as the BJP is concerned or any party is concerned, I don't think, Sanjay, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Before 1991, we'll need not talk about before 1991, but after 91, has there been any one political party in Uttar Pradesh which has won as many seats as BJP did in 1998? 57 seats.
57 seats.
No.
So, if you talk in
the
terms
highest.
of numbers, can we say that is a wave kind of situation? 57 seats, is that the benchmark?
Yeah, for UP certainly, 57 seats winning, one
Out
party
of
winning
85
57
at that time,
at the
it was
time,
still a
out
one
of 85,
single
yeah.
state.
Yeah.
So
It was certainly a
57
wave,
seats
because
out
that,
of 85.
that time I think BJP got about 36-37% vote.
Yes.
So that's a three-cornered or a four-cornered contest.
10% vote shift, normally you take it to be, I'm sure Sanjay will agree with me, 10 to 12% shift from the previous, from the overall thing. So, but in UP it's absolutely different. As Neerja just pointed out, she went to Muzaffarnagar where the riots took place. So first round of voting in UP was different. Mayawati had presumed certain things which she realized she was wrong.
No, let's not go into what has happened, but I'm talking, is this the benchmark? 57 seats BJP had won in 1998. So if it touches that or crosses that, we can say it's a wave. Vinod?
Well, let's first of all get our facts right, sorted out. What's a wave? When you're talking about a wave, are you talking about certain provinces, or are you talking about the whole of India?
No, today we are concentrating on Uttar Pradesh,
Uttar
because
Pradesh. No,
that is where
I think you
the
should
key
include
lies.
both UP and Bihar in this.
No, we'll not.
Because the overall
We'll
picture-
talk about Bihar a
Okay,
little later.
wait,
But
let me contextualize it.
Okay.
You see, UP and Bihar can't be differentiated much because they are contiguous states and they are Hindi-speaking states. So they are almost similar. And I think that what holds true of UP should largely hold true of Bihar. The only difference is that in Bihar, the BJP has never done exceedingly well. And it was stopped in Bihar when it had done exceedingly well in UP. That's a reality. Now, the question is whether history is repeating itself today. That it may do very well in Bihar and not as well, very well in UP and not as well in Bihar.
Right.
Now, may I tell you one thing? A wave is something which you saw in 77, where Indira Gandhi lost election, her son lost election, and the new combination got a majority of its own. and the BJP and the Congress lost about 150 seats.
Right.
Now, this may happen that the Congress may this time lose about 90 to 100 seats in a worst case scenario, or 70 to 80 seats in the best case scenario for the Congress. What, according to me, let's not talk about it as a wave. There are certain seats where Modi factor is fetching the BJP 2,000 to 5,000 extra votes. In certain other seats, it's getting 10 to 15,000. In the best case scenario, it is getting about 40 to 50,000. So there is no consistency. Yes, Mr. Modi can be perhaps very safely interpreted as a gusty tailwind to a ship which is streamlined adequately in terms of selection of candidate and the social alliance on the ground for the BJP. So in the event of a photo finish, he may be the final push to see the candidate through. But if you have got the candidate wrong, if you have got the social alliance wrong, then I don't think Mr. Modi is the wind or the wave or the tsunami which is going to will a delectable dilemma for the BJP, or a delectable dilemma for the BJP.
Okay, Atul, Chandra, would you agree with this, that in terms of numbers, do we talk in terms of numbers when we talk of a wave, or what do we talk of when we say that it's going to be a wave? Because especially since this whole wave business is today in what we are discussing in the context of BJP, in the context of Narendra Modi's leadership. So how do we define a wave in terms? Do we define the wave in terms of number of seats?
But what else can we define a wave in the context of elections, if not in terms of seats?
Right.
Because BJP has been saying that it will get 50 seats from, I think, day one of the campaigning here. Right. Now, they believe that it is going to happen only because there is a wave and an euphoria in favor of Narendra Modi.
Right.
But will they achieve that target? Will they get those numbers? Which is where one has to start doubting the theory of a wave in favor of the BJP. Because as you travel across Uttar Pradesh, you'll find that the caste and community factors are, so strong that they're touching those 50 seats number. It's difficult to believe that they'll be able to, meet that goal.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, Sanjay, what is different in these elections in 2014, say compared to 1998 or 99, as far as Uttar Pradesh is concerned? What would you see? Is there any defining differential factors which is very evident at this point of time?
In 98 and 99, the hostility to BJP...
99 is different. 99, BJP got only 29 seats in Uttar
Yes.
Pradesh. They had 57 in 1998. So if you compare 98 to 2014, what are the different things?
I think the real difference is that the hostility to BJP right now in 2014 with regard to the Muslim voter is far more aggressive compared to what we saw in 1998. At that time also, it's not that BJP was getting Muslim votes. BJP has never got, like notional 7-8% Muslim vote. But the hostility, it is more because
The
of
atmosphere is different?
Atmosphere is a little different. It is also because of the person who is leading the BJP's campaign, who is seen as a projected prime ministerial candidate, and that's why we see that kind of hostility.
So it's the Shesh Narain, it's just the hostility, but there's another very interesting thing which is said by people when we talk of the difference between 98 and 2014. In 2014, there is also a very serious anti-incumbency against the UPA government and the Congress, which was not prevailing in 1998.
No, it was very much there against that United Front, whatever
It was the United Front government, not against the Congress. The anti-incumbency against the Congress and this so-called wave which is trying to be generated, when they joined together, could we see a repeat of 98?
No, we can't, because at the outset, let's be very specific, because the anti-incumbency against Congress or no Congress. Congress is not a major player in UP in any case. In last elections, everybody was surprised when they got 22 or something seats.
22 seats, they were the second largest party.
Yeah, and everyone was surprised. So now the scene is that the fight is identity politics, number one. And number two, the percentage of votes that BJP got, it was fourth. So in Uttar Pradesh, for example, in Western UP, the mahal, so-called mahal euphoria, you get from the Jats because they own the Chaurahas. In my zilla, in Amethi Sultanpur, Thakur's own the Chaurahas. So those people are with the Kamal ka Phool. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So in Sultanpur, BJP is winning hands down. But in just next door, Amethi, they're fighting for survival. So those kind of local things are very important. So at the outset, there is no wave whatsoever because on every seat the caste is being counted. The 4% Kurmis, for example. That Modi gave 2 seats to ensure that in Varanasi he got the Kurmi votes. Even in Varanasi, the local identity politics is playing such an important role. In whole of Eastern UP, east of Lucknow, 32 seats or something. Nobody is sure of three seats, more than 3 seats for BJP. So this is not a wave at all. This is identity politics at its best.
So the identity politics, caste factor still playing a major role in the
that is what it is.
Neerja, in 2009, BJP got 10 seats. It had 17.5% votes. Now, for us to, somebody was mentioning earlier that at least 10 to 12% or 15% extra votes when they gain, then you can also call it a wave. So do you see that kind of a quantum jump in the percentage of votes in favor of BJP happening in this election?
It could be possible. If what we call the wave or enthusiasm or an undercurrent or whatever overrides caste and other considerations of the kind we have seen in the last 20 years post-Mandal era, and they have determined the politics of UP, then I would say yes, it is that kind of a wave. Now, will the BJP make a quantum jump of 10%? It could be, it's a very strange thing happening in many places. You have the Muslim community hostile and very, very fearful and aggressive in many parts. As a result of which they may have made it clear that they will not vote for the BJP, they will vote for the candidate who is strong enough to defeat the BJP. Now, as a result of this Muslim consolidation, this happens in many elections, but in this election it is very, very vocal, visible. As a result of that, you are also getting a further polarization and consolidation of Hindus, with many fence sitters also going the Modi way. So actually, for a variety of reasons, the Hindu-Muslim polarization is taking place at beneath the surface, though overtly Modi himself has not made those kind of noises. He's gone for the development mantra everywhere. But then others have spoken and given a push to this polarization.
Okay.
Now, given that, does this process add to what we are calling the wave?
Okay. Vinod?
No, I think that
polarization. She was talking about polarization.
I didn't see that
polarization was very visible in Western Uttar Pradesh. Whether the same kind of polarization
in those 10 seats.
Can I say something?
In those 10 seats.
You see, the last time I saw a wave in Uttar Pradesh was when Akhilesh Yadav got elected.
Right.
That was the wave. It started from Eastern UP. And the word got out from Eastern UP ki cycle chal gayi. Now the cycle started riding from Eastern UP right up to Western UP, which is not the stronghold of Mr. Mulayam Singh Yadav.
Yes.
Right.
And you could see the impact across Uttar Pradesh. In this case, Kamal blossomed in Western UP and started wilting as it progressed.
Even in the second round.
Because the word that got out was that Muslim vote has gotten divided. Now, once that word got out, I travelled after the Western UP first round from Mathura to Agra, Fatehpur Sikri, Firozabad, and Mulayam's bastions of Mainpuri and Etawah. And may I tell you one thing? In all these 5-6 constituencies, not at one place did I hear that the BJP was winning. Be it Mathura, be it Fatehpur Sikri, be it Agra, be it Firozabad, and be it Mainpuri and Etawah, which were given in any case. What I heard by way of Modi getting support of the Dalits was that in Etawah I went to a Harijan Basti and they said that the BSP doesn't seem to be winning here and there is no way we are going to vote for the cycle because that's our first time. In fact, they said it that pleasure is before duty, that it's their pleasure to defeat Samajwadi than to fulfill the duty of voting for the BSP. So they said we will go and vote for Kamal. You know, you get my point. Now, these are the contradictions. BJP, and we must understand one thing. You know, you cannot ever very simplistically describe Uttar Pradesh, because Uttar Pradesh function in different ways in different regions, you know.
And all of us have seen the waves of 77, 80, 84.
No, I give it to the
Sanjay, I want you to put some clarity to this whole thing. See, when we talk of polarization, as a psephologist, what would you be looking for in this kind of a polarization? When we talk of Hindu, especially in the context of Uttar Pradesh, now there is this BSP which has you know, its own voters who are unwavering in their commitment in voting for the party, whether the candidate is winning or losing, it just doesn't matter to them.
In a simple terms, vote of any caste community, a majority of voters of any caste community voting for one party is extreme polarization.
Yes.
And there are examples like the Jatavs in UP, 80% of them have been voting for BSP, and this is the extreme polarization we have seen across the country.
Right.
Similarly, Yadavs, 70% of them would vote for Mulayam Singh Yadav in Uttar Pradesh, and the same is the case in Bihar for Lalu Yadav. So this is kind of a polarization when more than half of the voters of one particular caste vote for one party.
This is happening as far as the BJP is concerned among the upper caste and any other communities.
The signals we are getting from the surveys which we conducted last 3-4 months is that upper caste are more sharply polarized this time in favor of BJP compared to any time in the past.
Let him finish.
That is what we have seen from the data.
Upper caste
more sharply polarized in favor of BJP, not only in UP but in other states.
But this kind of polarization, what kind of a counter polarization happens? That, you know, this wave which we are talking about has to, and the question which we are asking in this program today, can it override caste? So do you think that can happen?
What I can see happening in UP is the much stronger polarization of upper caste in favor of BJP, and BJP has been actually able to make inroads among the OBCs and the lower OBCs. Small portion of those voters have shifted towards that might make BJP as the winning combination.
For example, Rajbhars and Kevats and Mallas, most of them were Rajbhar, thok of Rajbhars with Mayawati ji. But in UP, a lot of things, so-called upper caste has to be very specifically understood. In Sultanpur, for example, the Thakurs and Brahmins are daggers drawn. They will never vote together. In Pratapgarh, Munishrat Upadhyay territory, Thakurs and Brahmins will never ever vote together because Raja Bhaiya factor. So
Sanjay,
those things are also happening.
Do you think these things can be overcome? These things are being overcome in your, if you have found anything in your surveys? These kind of sharp caste factors which work at the lowest level.
No, I can at the best tell you about the big picture, what we are discussing, the big picture about UP. I know in the big picture, a lot of details of constituency specific details get lost. But overall, that is the trend. These differences, like specificity of constituencies might be happening. That in a constituency, two castes may not be voting
despite
for
them
the
being
same
upper
party.
caste.
But at the state level, they would seem to be like going together.
Okay. Atul, Chandra, another question, important question is, you know, when I was also traveling in some parts of Uttar Pradesh, there is some kind of an anti-incumbency against the state government also. You think that anti-incumbency is also going to work, you know, in favor of say the BJP in these elections?
See, that anti-incumbency factor is likely to shift the Yadav vote towards BJP.
Right.
And whatever happened in Muzaffarnagar, somehow Mulayam Singh Yadav has been able to regain the confidence of Muslims once again, only because of the Modi fear.
Right.
And so the anti-incumbency factor gets somewhat neutralized here.
Okay. Neerja, this is interesting. You know, I myself have come across this, what Atul Chandra was talking about Yadavs, a section of Yadavs, we don't know what the percentage would be, but a section of Yadavs may, especially in eastern UP, may move towards the BJP also. You think that this is happening because of the anti-incumbency against the state government, or is this part of the wave which the BJP and Narendra Modi is trying to create?
Look, there were signs of younger Yadavs looking towards BJP, towards Modi. You know, in Western UP, the first phase that went to the polls, those 10 seats, if you look at the demography of those constituencies, if Dalit and Muslim had combined together, then there was no way the BJP candidate could win, polarization or not.
Yes.
Because such are the large numbers, 5 lakh Muslims, 2.5 lakhs Dalits. But that did not happen. The Muslims got divided, and the Dalits, a section of the Dalits were also looking at the BJP. Now, the Muslims got divided for a variety of reasons. One being that Mulayam Singh Yadav told them that I am here for the next 3 years.
Right.
You will have to do
yeah,
business
that's
with me.
right. That's a very interesting thing which has happened. Vinod, you know, now the question is, initially when we started off, Sanjay said that, you know, in the initial month, January, February, March, there seemed to be a wave, but it was petering down, which Atul Chandra is also talking about. You know, so are we going to conclude that we are just seeing another election in Uttar Pradesh, which we have seen all along, except say maybe in 1998?
Well, you know, CSDS had initially given figures which were astronomical even by the BJP standards, you know. And perhaps they had good reasons to do it, because as has been pointed out just now, that at that time it seems to be a one-horse race, because he was the earliest to go into campaign, and there was a strategy behind it, that he wanted to do that campaign as a prime ministerial candidate while elections were being held to 3 crucial states which he desired to influence, you know, even when there was a model code of conduct. Now the same thing happened when he went to file nomination for in Banaras. That was the day when 18 crore people were going to elect 117 MPs.
Right.
And for 4 hours he dominated the moving picture. Now that gave an impression. You see, the point is that media can at best at once inform and disinform, you know. When there's such a huge, but may I tell you one thing?
Running out of time.
There is no appreciable shift of the Yadav vote, a decisive shift of the Yadav vote against Mr. Mulayam Singh in favor of the BJP.
And Dalit vote not shifting
and
against
Dalit,
Mayawati.
and broadly the Dalit remains steadfast in its support of Mayawati Jatav base. Now Jatav, because Jatavs, the other non-Jatavs fear the Yadavs more. So they don't like Jatavs, but they tend to be with them. They tend to be with them.
No,
Sanjay,
I would agree that...
No, one more thing. Yeah, please reply to that. But, you know, I want you also to what Neerja was talking about. Dalits and Muslims coming together. That doesn't seem to be happening.
Look, couple of things. One, we do see kind of a small shift among the younger voters in favor of BJP, more so in favor of Narendra Modi. There is a attraction among the younger voters,
yes,
across caste.
Right.
And this is not only in UP, it's happening in many states.
Right.
Second, it is true that it is difficult, extremely difficult for Yadav to shift from Mulayam Singh Yadav to BJP, and also Dalits it's very difficult to imagine that Dalits would shift away from BSP to BJP.
There are various minor. There are various other to be happening. The Dalit shift seems to be happening at a little larger level in places like Varanasi or even in Amethi.
But also
the up factor.
But also there are various other castes besides Dalits, Yadavs and upper caste. There are lots of intermediary castes,
right,
and they have been very, very unhappy with the way the government has been functioning.
So the state's anti-incumbency against the state government is working
and majority of them are siding in favor of BJP. That's I suspect that is happening in UP.
Okay, I think
because they also set up alliances with these smaller groupings.
So Atul Chandra, very quick last words to you. So you think that this is an election which seems to the common eye that there is a wave, but you know, if you look deep, would you say that this is just any other election which has happened in UP like in the past, except 1998?
I don't see a wave, frankly speaking, in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay. I think on that note, we need to end the last words to the man on the field in Lucknow. Whether it is a wave or whether this wave can override caste is something which all of us will be watching very closely. We have been watching, will continue to watch. We'll get to know it only on May 16th. But this is a state where we need to keep a continuous watch till the last phase of elections on May 12th. Thanks to all my guests, Atul Chandra, Neerja Chowdhury, Sanjay Kumar, Shesh Narain Singh and Vinod Sharma. Please keep watching. We'll come back with another issue on the big picture same time tomorrow.